Can you share us your thoughts on first Dorsey leaving and then obviously with Joe stepping in? Give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, obviously not a set of circumstances you want to be in, especially during the middle of a season. I love Dorsey. As a human being, he's one of the good ones. He's been in this room with me for a very long time. I feel like I owe him a lot of the success that I've had in my career, and he's been a huge part of that. So it's sad to see him go. And the fact is, we play better as a team. We probably don't have to make a move like that. He was a big part of what we've been doing here in the last few years. I talked with Coach McDermott, and I understand the thought process of why we're doing it. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, we've got a game against a division rival on Sunday, and we still have time to turn this thing around.
How much of a difference do you feel like a move like this can make?
I honestly don't know. I haven't been in a situation like this. And the crazy thing, Joe was that guy 2 years ago where he was, so he understands both sides of it. So again, we gotta rally around each other right now. We have to come together as a team, and offensively, we've got to play better football.
Josh, Sean put an emphasis on confidence and energy. Knowing that you've got, this is a bit of a personal blow. How do you get your energy up, get your confidence up? And where do you find that? Where do you draw from to get that up?
Yeah, I find that, one, in this locker room, two, the fact that we're 5-5 and our backs are against the wall. The clock's ticking on what we can do this season, and it starts this Sunday to try to turn this thing around. It's no secret in terms of how many wins you probably need to get to the playoffs, and we don't got much more wiggle room. So we understand that, but again, we can't focus on the next week or the week after that, or inevitably we can't focus on the end of the season. We got to focus on the here and now, and that's Sunday against a team that's already beat us once this season, a team that offensively we didn't play very well. I didn't play very well. So again, we're looking forward to get out there and playing Buffalo Bills football, the football that we know we can play. And I got a lot of faith in the guys in this room. I got a lot of faith in Joe. I got a lot of faith in myself. So we got to go out there and put together our best ball.
How much of processing this is, you mentioned a little bit, feeling like if you guys had played better, Ken Dorsey would still have his job?
I mean, that's without a doubt. And I take that very personally. It hurts. It hurts a lot to see someone you care about go through a situation like that, and to know that, if I could have done more, if this offense could have done more, we wouldn't have had to do something like that. So, again, it's an unfortunate series of events that have led up to it, and but again, like, as much as you can sit here and feel sorry for yourself and you can sulk on what's going on, we got a game to prepare for, and it's 4 days away. So we can't pay too much attention to it. We got to focus on what we can control, and that's our attitude and efforts every time we step on this field and practice and walkthroughs and meetings, and make sure that we're going to be prepared to go come Sunday.
Joe Brady isn't somebody we get a chance to talk to a lot. What kind of person is he? What can you tell us about Joe, and just as a guy, as a person?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of juice to him. He former ball player himself. I think that he can relate with a lot of the guys. Obviously, he's a fairly younger guy, but again, a guy that's been around the league. He's been an offensive coordinator. He's in the league. He's been a national championship caller at the college level. So again, there's a lot of faith in him. He's been around a lot of football. He's learned under a lot of really good coaches, and we're going to have to utilize his knowledge going forward.
2 years with him, what do you think? How has he impacted you? Has it been more technical stuff or mental stuff? What's been the impact, I guess?
I mean, in terms of just how I prepare, he's an extremely hard worker. He's always in the building, first one in, last one out. I doubt he got any sleep last night, obviously, kind of being thrown into a role like this. And it's not a congratulations move. He's in there because we didn't do our jobs. And now we're, like I said, backs against the wall. And he's ready to go in. He's prepared, and we got to follow his lead and make sure that we have his back.
I remember at training camp when Ken got the job, you talking about having a different voice in your ear and kind of getting used to that. Is your relationship with Joe in a place where you're going to be comfortable, or is that something you guys will kind of work through as you go?
I mean, we got no choice but to be comfortable. But again, he's the same voice that we've heard in the quarterback room for the last year and a half now. There's a lot of talking that goes on in that room, so I'm pretty comfortable with his voice.
You said how, this move with Dorsey not being here anymore, it's personal, where does your confidence now with this offense and with how you're playing, like with this move, how does it affect you and going forward and how you play?
Well, one, I mean, I got to be better. We got to be better as an offense. Turnover-wise, it's abysmal when we lose. There's no secret to that. So there's not a whole lot. Like, it's not like it's broken. We're not a broken offense. We're not a broken team. But the splits that compared to when we win and when we lose are massive. And again, that's on my shoulders, and we got to be better. I got to be better.
That's on your shoulders, but how do you not let that crush you? For lack of a better word, how do you not let that pressure get too much? Because with this change and with how things have been going, how do you not let that affect you too much and kind of let it linger?
Well, you rely on the guys in this locker room. You lean on each other. It's how you get back up from being knocked down. And I think that this locker room, there's been plenty of being knocked down, and we've felt that. But again, helping each other back up and pushing each other and making sure we're holding each other accountable for what's been going on and how we can be better moving forward. And I think it takes a lot to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what can I do that's been good, and what can I do to fix what's been bad? And that's what we all got to do.
Well,
you mentioned how much
a self-contained anger. I mean, just angry at yourself or angry just at the circumstances. Just.
It all depends on how the individual can use that anger, and sometimes it's for the benefit, sometimes it's not, and it's I guess time will tell.
When you mentioned how much Joe has on his plate this week, a short week getting ready for everything, do you give more or less input to him on a week like this?
I give him as much input as I can. My phone line is 24/7. When I'm at home, doesn't matter. I could be sleeping. If he calls me, I'm going to pick up and make sure that we can get on the same page as quickly as possible.
What's your favorite thing about Joe?
His attitude. He's a very positive human being. Like I said, he's been through the ups and downs. So, just the energy and the juice that he can bring to our room and bring to the offense, and just the faith that he's got in his guys.
Jeff, what can you do to tap into the guy who used to play like in terms of pardon the cameras? To have a shoved up your ass mentality doesn't seem to be there as much anymore. How come?
I think we all evolve as human beings. We all evolve as players in this league, and just trying to be the guy that I feel is necessary to be to lead this team. And I'm just trying to be myself, and sometimes it calls for that, sometimes it doesn't. Not quite sure.
The numbers aren't bad on offense. You guys are moving the ball. The metrics are really good. It seems like it's a turnover here, a stalled drive there at the end of a drive. Details that, quite frankly, you guys have been pretty buttoned up on over the last few years. How do you get back to making sure those details get back to where they should be?
Well, again, I think just making sure that we're communicating as an offense, tightening some things down, making sure that we understand the assignment that we're given. And again, that starts with me. It starts with Joe. Now, me being an extension of what he's calling and trying to go out there and execute to the best of our abilities. And again, not getting bored with the stuff underneath, and making sure, again, like I said, the turnovers that we've had in our losses, it just can't have a lot of them. We can overcome one, maybe two, because how good our defense plays. And we've been in games, and again, we've lost 5 games, but I think I combined 23 points. So that's one drive. That's one less drive. If we didn't have a turnover, who knows if we end up with 3 or 6 that drive. But we're limiting our own opportunities. We're hurting ourselves. and we're not putting ourselves in great positions to win football games, and we're asking too much of each other. We're making things very hard for ourselves when things don't have to be that way if we tighten some things up, and that's what we plan on doing.